Good morning, viewers. It is a bright and beautiful day here in the capital city of Abuja. As we bring to you the very first edition of this year after a very long break. So this is your edition for this year, the very first one, and we are bringing to an exciting edition of a real sports show, Sports Hour. We are beaming live to you from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television, ACNN TV. I am your regular host, Olujide Olushola. So viewers, we bring you to you an event that has happened, that is happening, and that will happen in the world of sports. But for now, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, the show will kick off in earnest. Please stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned, and you're welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is still the Sport Hour Show. So we'll be expecting your contributions via calls through the numbers shown on your screen or via comments through our various social media platforms. So we'll begin with the very first story on the Super Falcons, where the coach, talking about Randy Wandrum, has said he aims to build a Super Falcons team with strength, technical balance, and stamina. We are all aware that recently the Super Falcons qualified for the All African Women's Nations Cup in Morocco after defeating Cote d'Ivoire, 3-1. Home and away. They played in Nigeria here before going to Cote d'Ivoire to play the second leg. And now, speaking with the NFF, the 65-year-old American coach said he wants to build a team that will stand shoulder to shoulder, yard by yard, strength by strength, with the world best team, talking about the US, the France, Brazil. And now our desire now is to see what he has in stock for the Super Falcons, to see how we are going to be able to manage the kind of the players we have, and that will take us to the next level. He's an experienced coach, so to say, and of course, he knows what he has that mandate. Now, his initial mandate was to qualify the Falcons for the Nations Cup, which he has done. And now, again, for ahead of the World Cup next year in Australia, he needs to get to the finals or semi-finals of the Nations Cup before he can qualify the Super Falcons for the World Cup. So we are looking forward to see what Randy Wandrum has in stock. He has said he wants to build a team, a strong team. But he's not the first coach that will say he wants to build a Super Falcons team with strength, with technical balance. But we have some old guards in the team. And of course, we have new players in the team. What have coming young players. So it's going to bring in the experienced versus fresh legs. And we look forward to see what Randy will do when the competition starts in May this year, talking about the African Women's Nations Cup. So leaving the Super Falcons, let's now go to the Nigerian Professional Football League, NPFL, where we see Plateau United, of course, deeming the stars of Lobby Stars in Makurdi yesterday. Yesterday, over 10 games were played in the match day 16 of the 2021-22 Nigeria Professional Football League. And of course, Plateau United, they defeated Lobby Stars, and there were other results from the league as well too. Rivers United, who currently top the table, against all odds, so to say, but then they defeated Kano Pillars. That was a very, very tough match yesterday, and we saw Rivers United maintaining the lead. As you can see on your screen, the result there are on your screen. Rivers United, of course, still maintained the table. They defeated the Kano Pillars by a long goal, and the goal was scored by a former Kano Pillars player, talking about Ngwa in Gima. And so we are going to see this season is getting interesting in the PFL. Remo Stars that started brightly, of course, they've gone down to top position because they've lost about 5 games they've lost about 5 games now, and it is telling on their title credentials. But now the battle rather is between Rivers United and Plateau United, and we hope to see where this will end as the season goes on. And on the cherry news, you saw Enyimba United, of course, ending that unbeaten run, 4 games unbeaten. The Finidi side, they've not done so well in the last few games. They've either drawn or they've lost. But then it was not getting to that point where they needed to, of course, end that trend. And of course, it was against Remo Stars, and it was a 2-1 victory over the Blue Stars from Ogun State. And it was a cherry news for Finidi George. His side, they've been very, very fortunate. They've been playing very well. But of course, in the past few games, we've seen that the woodwork, of course, was separating them from getting their goals. The last 2 games, if I can recall, they had about the balls. Of course, the club scored about 3 goals, but then the woodwork was against them. Probably the god of soccer was asleep that very day, and but then the good thing now is that they've ended that unbeaten run, 4 games unbeaten run, and to move ahead, to see how they can challenge for the title. They're not doing so well. They're doing so well, but they're not doing too well the way we expected them, being one of the best and the biggest clubs in Nigeria. And we can also show you some other results from the other games. Yesterday, also, we saw Shooting Stars against Enugu Rangers. The game ended 1-1. That's one of the biggest games. If you are very familiar with the Nigerian football history, these games it's like Madrid, Barcelona in those years of Segun Odegbami, Christian Chukwu and co. It was a very tough in those days. It was all very tough, but unfortunately, Shooting Stars went down the drain. They went down into NLO. Of course, they dropped out of the top 5 football, but now they are back. And at their refurbished stadium in Ibadan, but they are unable, of course, to defeat Enugu Rangers. And the game ended 1-1. So it's been interesting so far in the league, and it's been so tight at the table right now. And according to the table now, we see Rivers United, still leading the log, and they are not ready to drop that. Come down of the table at all. So they lead with 35 points. While Plateau United, of course, they lead with 34 points. And Remo Stars, who were on top of the table for a very long time before they started losing their games, they are on 26 points after playing 16 games. But shockingly, a club like MFM, they are at the roots of the table with 15 points. MFM is just unlucky this season, and we don't know how they're going to pray themselves out of this relegation battle. Of course, we have Katsina United, Atlanta FC, and of course, Dakada FC, who also are swimming in the relegation battle. And Lobby Stars, who also won a previous champion, they are 19th. They're 13th with 19 points. And Eimba, as I said earlier, of course, they moved up a little bit to 7th position, and they are with 24 points. So it's been a beautiful season so far at the MPFL. And of course, a certain man called Rafiq Kalde Ishaq, of course, he leads the goal scoring charts with 10 goals, and he plays for Rivers United. So his goals has been helpful, of course, to take his club up to where they are right now, and probably they'll be winning their first league in several years. So let's move away from the Nigerian football. Let's now go to European football, where of course the Ukraine versus Russia crisis, is affecting so many things: the players, the coaches, and fans. And a former Norwich coach, Falk, has abandoned his club without taking charge of a single game. Krasnodar is a club in Russia, but of course, when this crisis came up, he signed a deal recently with them, but then he had to resign or step aside because there's no more football in Russia. So he has to take a back seat and probably buy out his contract. It's unfortunate as how things is turning out right now in Russia because Russia-Ukraine crisis and Sparta Donetsk. such as Sparta Moscow being dumped out or even being disqualified from the Europa League because of sanctions. We have seen several sports federations, table tennis, all of them, the Olympic Committee, placing bans on players on the national teams, and FIFA and UEFA also, they've also slammed a very big hammer on the federation, and it baffles someone like me that football is being involved in politics. I also see that sports should have been used as a means, to resolve whatever issue they have on ground. These players do not have any fault of theirs. They're not Putin that trigger the war or anything. They are there to make their living. But then it's unfortunate that they've been caught up in the crossfire. And how this will pan out in the next few days, few weeks, or even the next few months, we don't know. But it's our desire that this whole crisis will end so that the players can go back to the players, the fans, even the residents, the citizens can go back to their normal lives. So it is as it is right now, and it's just unfortunate. So also, now this is talking about the European football. Our star boy, talking about Victor Osimhen, is being eyed by two giants, one in Spain and one in England, talking about Real Madrid and, of course, Manchester United. Real Madrid is chasing him on the basis that in case they're not able to get Erling Haaland, he might replace him. And of course, Man U are looking at him to boost the attack. Of course, Cristiano Ronaldo has not been doing too well in the last few games, and Cavani, and he's there to replace Anthony Martial, who is on loan to Sevilla as well. So we can see, and the club is splashing a FT, that's Napoli, that's splashing a very big money on Osimhen, £100 million, and. I don't know which. Of course, I expect Madrid can afford that. Man U can afford that. But of course, I'm sure they're going to do a little bit of horse trading to see how they can bring down the price and everything. But it's a good one to see. In fact, Osimhen should have gone to Manchester United a few years ago, but he said he didn't want to go there because of one reason, because Odion Gallo was already in the club. So out of deference to the fact that his senior colleague is there, you will allow him to play his football, not that you will come there and bench him or something. But now Odion has left. Maybe it's now his time for him to see how he can showcase himself on a bigger stage. Napoli is a big club, no doubt about that. But we can't compare the stature of Napoli with Man U, despite the fact that Manchester United are not doing very well in the league. And Napoli, of course, they top the league right now in Italy. So let's move from football and go to boxing. Tyson Fury is set for retirement in April after his heavyweight title. Tyson Fury is one big guy, with heavy punches, and who can break down anything with his. He has the fat on his body, but then his fat is even giving him that kind of punch power. So he said he's going to end his career after his heavyweight bout in April, and maybe we're able to see him fight again with Anthony Joshua or somebody else. But then he has paid his price, he has paid his dues, he has done so well for himself when it comes to boxing. He has won so much belts, he has lost and won, he has lost, won again, and he wants to live on the high. And either happens in April after his bout is left for us to see, and we wish him all the best in his future. Then probably come into coaching, into boxing coaching or something, or stop. No, I'm sure he will have other ideas for himself after he leaves, after he retires. Okay, so again, let's go back to the Super Eagles, to the national team, the Super Eagles. Where a former Super Eagles player, talking about General Babangida, is urging the caretaker coach of Senegal to pick the right strikers that will pick up the Qatar ticket for us to go to the World Cup. General Babangida, of course, he has played in the World Cup, and 1994 World Cup as well too. And Eguavoen is spoiled with attackers. I don't think Super Eagles lack any form of any player, any strong striker. We have Victor Osimhen, we have Odion Gallo, we have Sadiq Umar, and a lot of other players. You know, he's poor with choices. And Tijani Babangida is telling him that, okay, guy, even though you have striker at your disposal, but you still have to pick the right ones that will ensure that we defeat Ghana home and away. And this game is going to be the next 2 weeks here in Abuja. The first leg in Accra, then the second leg in Abuja. And once we can get a ticket, we are off to Qatar in December for the World Cup. So Babangida, of course, is an experienced player. He was an experienced player, and he's urging his fellow former teammates on what to do, that he has to get his strikers right, because we need goals. Our defense line probably is strong enough. Our midfield is strong enough, but then we saw what happened in Cameroon, you know, where we could not even score much. Though we did very well, but then I think we lacked that against Tunisia. We lacked that experience up front, and there was no Osimhen, there was no Odion Gallo. But now the two of them are back. Will be back for us against Ghana, and we'll see how that pans out later this month, to see how Gavon will juggle his lineup to ensure that we get the result against the Black Stars of Ghana. Away from football, let's go to basketball, where the FIBA Women's World Cup, where the Tigers, the national basketball team, the Tigers, may draw US and Australia ahead of the 2022 FIBA World Cup. This is not so good, and it's also good in some point. We know how strong the US is when it comes to basketball. And for the Tigers, you know, when the draw comes up, we may be playing the game for us to get our tickets, for us to be able to qualify to play in the FIBA World Cup. We may be playing against US or Australia. The choice is yours. I don't know who we should pick, who we should play against, either US or Australia. But I prefer to play against the US, because you need to play against the best, you know, of course, to be able to be counted among the best. And we are the best basketball nation in Africa. And according to the last ranking in the world, I think we are 8th. So for us to be 8th in the world means that we are doing well. And to play against the best, for us to be among the best, we need to play against the best teams in the world. Sadiq Umar, a young guy, highly maligned during the Nations Cup, especially against a game against Tunisia. Now there are reports coming out from Europe that Almeria wants to sell him to Sevilla, or rather Sevilla is demanding for a signature, and Almeria is telling them, oh, you can have him, but bring yours. Sadiq Umar, the lanky young man, as you can see on the screen, the lanky young man, of course, he's doing so well for his club in Almeria, bagging in goals week in, week out. I might want to defend him a little bit on the screen. People, of course, maligned him for his playing, for how he played against Tunisia in Cameroon. This young guy is a very, very good player. He's very, very talented. What happened to him simply was because the confidence disappeared. He lost that confidence against Tunisia. He felt the weight of 200 million Nigerians on his shoulders, and I think that was big. That was too big for him to undo. That is where the experience comes in, and I'm sure. And the Nations Cup was going to be the biggest stage ever in his career. He has never played for the Super Eagles before at that stage, and coming on board, you know, to carry the weight of over 200 million Nigerians, he felt it, and he buckled under that weight. But then you should give him time. You should give him time. He's going to come through for the Super Eagles. I'm advocating on his behalf. He's going to come through for the Super Eagles. He's playing very well for his club in Almeria. He's bagging goals week in, week out with reckless abandon. And I believe that he will come through for the Super Eagles if you give him more chances, if you give him more opportunities, and his confidence level is developed higher. Okay, again, let's go back to that Ukraine Russia war, and Roman Abramovich is selling his empire. The Roman Empire is about to crumble, all because of his close ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he is wanting to sell his club Chelsea for £3 billion, and every other property he has, because of the embargo or the sanction placed upon him by the UK government due to the Russia-UK war. It begs why, because of I wonder why they're trying to muzzle the oligarchs, as they call them, or because of their closeness with the Russian president. But then why are their businesses? Of course, this thing also is also affecting the Everton biggest shareholder. It's also a Russian. You know, a whole lot of others. So now, just Abramovich wants to sell his club, Chelsea. You know, he came on board in 2013. You know, I'm sorry, in 2003, he bought the club. You know, transformed the club fortunes. You know, made it a very strong team that we all know Chelsea is right now. For 50 years, the club did not win any trophy until when he came, he bought the club, brought in Jose Mourinho, and then transformed the fortune of the club. And the club has won 2 Champions League, has won the FA Cup, has won titles since he came on board. And in a statement yesterday, he said Chelsea owes him about 1.5 or 2 million pounds. I say it's not about the money. It's about that he bought the club because he loves the club and the passion he has for the game. Which means that he has been spending his personal funds to run the club, to pay salaries or to do anything, but he's not even bothered about the money and everything. That's to show that this is painful. It's painful now for every Chelsea fan to see Roman Abramovich selling their beloved club. And now there are two people who are wanting to buy the club: a Swiss billionaire and a Saudi prince. You know, they are bidding to buy the club, and we will see how that pans out as well too. We probably will see a new Chelsea owner in the next few weeks or in the next few months. But he is not finding it difficult to sell his properties. And they say once he sells the properties, he is going to, of course, give out the money to the net profits, in quotes, to Ukraine victims. Who the victims are, we don't know. So let's now take the fixtures that we have for this weekend across Europe, and of course in Nigeria as well too. It's going to be a beautiful weekend for most of us, for the fans. But I will start, of course, with Nigeria first. Sorry, with England. Sorry, on Saturday, we are going to be seeing Leicester City taking on Leeds United. Newcastle have been doing well in the last few games. They were rated at the bottom of the table, but of course now they've come up and they are gradually escaping the relegation battles. And where they will end at the end of the season, we don't know. So we're going to see Liverpool against West Ham. Wolves will welcome Crystal Palace. Burnley will welcome Chelsea. And Southampton will take a trip to Aston Villa. In Germany, it's going to be Bayern Munich against Bayern Leverkusen. And we'll see Wolfsburg against Union Berlin. Bochum against Greuther Fürth. Frankfurt will take a trip to Hertha BSC. And Spain, it's going to be Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. Osasuna against Villarreal. Espanyol against Getafe. And Valencia against Granada. That's on Saturday. Then on Sunday in England, it is Watford against Arsenal. And the biggest game of the week in England is the Manchester derby. Manchester City versus Manchester United. Wow. I don't know whether Man U will survive the onslaught of Man City, who are determined to win the league right now. They are 6 points ahead with Liverpool close by, but Liverpool have a game at hand, and they do not want to drop points at this point, because if they drop points, they are still going to play against Liverpool, and that could be a title decider. So that's the biggest game in Europe today, on this weekend. Manchester United against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. And in Italy, it's going to be Juventus against Pisa, Napoli against AC Milan, Genoa against Empoli. So in Nigeria, I would love to promote our own league. We are going to be seeing Abia Warriors, hosting Accra United. Dakar FC will host Eyimba. Shooting Stars will look to to bring down Rivers United in Port Harcourt. Enugu Rangers, of course, will welcome Gobe United. Atlant FC will play against Niger Tornadoes. Kano Pillars against National United. MFM versus Kwara United. Plateau United will welcome Katsina United. Remo Stars is going to be Clash of the Stars. Remo Stars versus Sunshine Stars. And the last game is going to be Wiki Tourist against Lobby Stars. So these are some of the games that we play this weekend across the world, Nigeria and Europe. So this is where we'll draw the curtains for today's program. We hope you've enjoyed every bit of today's show. Till we come again, same time, same station next week. We say enjoy the rest of the day and have a splendid weekend ahead. I remain Olusola Olujide. Bye for now.